January 27, 2026, a date that will be etched into the memories of millions, not just in Ukraine, but across the globe. On this cold winter day, the world holds its breath, watching events unfold with a mixture of dread and disbelief. The war in Ukraine, already a tragedy of immense proportions, has entered a new, chilling phase. Newsrooms everywhere are abuzz, maps of Ukraine dominate screens, and the eyes of the world are fixed on the escalating crisis. Russia has intensified its campaign, unleashing a relentless barrage of missile strikes that now target the very heart of Ukrainian civilian life. Apartment blocks, schools, and hospitals, once places of safety, are now in the crosshairs. This is no longer just a battle fought by soldiers at the front lines. It has become a war waged against the people themselves. Families are forced to abandon their homes, seeking shelter wherever they can, often in cold, damp basements, huddled together for warmth and comfort. Moscow's latest and most insidious weapon is winter itself. As snow blankets the cities and temperatures plummet, the struggle for survival becomes even more desperate. Power stations, heating plants, and water facilities, once the backbone of daily life, are now prime targets. Each strike cripples the infrastructure that keeps people warm, safe, and alive. The goal is chillingly clear: to plunge Ukraine into darkness and cold, to sap the will of its people, and to break their spirit through deprivation and fear. Every attack is a calculated attempt to force surrender, not through military defeat, but by making daily life unbearable. Families shiver in candlelit rooms, children wait in long lines for water, and the elderly struggle to survive in freezing apartments. The international community has responded with outrage. Emergency meetings are called, and world leaders condemn these attacks as war crimes. Yet despite the strong words and urgent appeals, the missiles continue to fall. Night after night, the sky over Ukraine is lit by explosions. Each flash marks another neighborhood in peril, another family torn apart, another chapter in this terrifying new phase of the war. For Ukrainians, the wail of air raid sirens has become a nightly ritual, a grim promise of fear, uncertainty, and cold. Children fall asleep to the sound, never knowing if they will wake to safety or destruction. The war has invaded every aspect of their lives. It has shattered routines, destroyed homes, and eroded the very sense of safety that once defined daily existence. Even the most ordinary moments are now tinged with anxiety and loss. This escalation is a stark signal from Moscow, a demonstration of its willingness to inflict maximum suffering to achieve its goals. The Kremlin's strategy is clear: test the limits of Ukraine's endurance and the patience of the world. The world watches as the Kremlin pushes boundaries, testing not only Ukraine's resilience but also the resolve of the international community. Every decision made in distant capitals now carries immense weight for those on the ground. The question facing Ukraine is no longer just about victory on the battlefield. It is about survival. How a nation endures when its lifelines are under constant, merciless attack. Broken bridges and downed power lines are now symbols of a country fighting for its very existence. The line has been crossed. The war has entered a phase where the rules of humanity are being tested, and the consequences will echo for generations. Ukraine's response was swift and unyielding. Artillery roars through the night, and counterattacks are launched with determination. The message is unmistakable: Ukraine will not suffer in silence, and its spirit will not be broken. The world is witnessing more than a military conflict. This is a battle for the survival of a nation's spirit, a struggle to preserve hope and identity in the face of overwhelming adversity. In the ruins, the Ukrainian flag still waves, a symbol of defiance and unity. The stakes have never been higher. Every decision, every act of resistance, and every moment of courage will shape the future, not just for Ukraine, but for the world watching. As a new day dawns over a battered Kyiv, the next move will define not only the fate of Ukraine, but perhaps the course of history itself. The world waits, knowing that what happens here will resonate far beyond these frozen streets. Russia's winter strategy is brutally simple: weaponize the cold. By destroying Ukraine's energy infrastructure, Moscow aims to create a humanitarian catastrophe. The attacks are precise, targeting power plants, dams, and substations to cause cascading blackouts. The Kremlin hopes freezing, desperate civilians will pressure their government to surrender. But this strategy has backfired. Instead of breaking Ukraine's spirit, it has united the nation. Every blackout is a reminder of what's at stake: freedom and survival. This energy war is a sign of Russia's failure on the battlefield, a shift to terror tactics. The world sees this as weakness, not strength. Russia's actions have only strengthened Ukraine's resolve and isolated Moscow further. The cold may bite, but Ukrainian defiance burns hotter. The energy war is a gamble. Russia is losing. Ukraine's unity is now its greatest weapon. The scale of Russia's recent strikes is truly unprecedented, marking a dramatic escalation in the ongoing conflict. Never before has Ukraine faced such a relentless and coordinated barrage, with the capital and other major cities under near-constant threat from above. On January 25th, a massive, meticulously planned assault lit up Ukrainian skies as wave after wave of missiles and drones descended upon urban centers. The night was transformed into a battlefield, with the horizon flickering from the relentless impacts. Ballistic and cruise missiles, launched simultaneously from land, sea, and air, overwhelmed Ukraine's layered defenses. The sheer volume and variety of weapons used left little time for response, pushing air defense crews to their limits. Swarms of Iranian-made Shahed drones saturated Ukrainian airspace, flying low and in unpredictable patterns. These drones, cheap but effective, forced anti-air systems to expend precious ammunition, exhausting resources and creating gaps in the shield. The goal is clear: overwhelm, confuse, and destroy. By launching attacks from multiple directions and with different technologies, Russia aims to break down Ukraine's ability to defend itself and to sow chaos among the population. Over 100 missiles and drones were tracked in a single night, a staggering number that tested every aspect of Ukraine's air defense network. Operators worked around the clock, eyes glued to radar screens, making split-second decisions. Air defenses, bolstered by Western aid and advanced systems like the Patriot missile battery, managed to intercept many threats, but not all. Some missiles inevitably slipped through, causing destruction and loss. Each missile that gets through can plunge entire cities into darkness, knocking out power grids and leaving thousands without heat or light in the dead of winter. The civilian population bears the brunt of these attacks, forced to adapt to life under siege. The psychological toll is immense. Sirens and explosions haunt every night, making sleep a luxury and anxiety a constant companion. Families huddle in shelters, children comforted by parents as the world above shakes with violence. Russia is sending a message to both Ukraine and the world. It can sustain high-intensity attacks despite international sanctions and mounting losses. The display of military might is as much about intimidation as it is about strategy. They're adapting, replenishing, and escalating. Russian arms factories work around the clock, churning out new missiles and drones, while military convoys transport fresh supplies to the front lines. For Ukraine, the battle for the skies is now as critical as the fight on the ground. Every intercepted missile saves lives, but everyone that gets through brings new tragedy. The survival of its people depends on resilience, unity, and the continued support of allies. In bomb shelters and darkened homes, Ukrainians cling to hope, determined to endure. The war has entered a new, more dangerous phase, one where the skies themselves have become a front line, and the outcome may hinge on who can adapt fastest in this deadly contest of technology and willpower. For millions of Ukrainians, survival has become a relentless, daily struggle. Each morning brings new uncertainty as families wake to the biting cold and the knowledge that basic necessities, warmth, light, and water, are no longer guaranteed. Relentless Russian attacks on the energy grid have left countless families without power, heat, or running water. The infrastructure that once sustained daily life has been shattered, forcing people to adapt to a harsh new reality. In the depths of winter, this deprivation becomes a life-threatening crisis. The cold seeps into every corner, making even the simplest tasks, like preparing a meal or staying warm, an immense challenge. Families cluster together in frigid rooms, cooking what little they have on camping stoves, and seeking out public centers just to charge their phones and stay informed. Children try to study by the dim glow of candles, while the elderly and the sick face deadly risks from the cold and lack of medical resources. Hospitals struggle to operate, relying on generators and emergency lighting. The darkness is nearly absolute, broken only by the thunder of explosions or the sweeping beams of searchlights as air defenses scan the night for threats. Anxiety and uncertainty are constant companions. Every sound outside could signal danger, and every message brings hope or heartbreak. Yet through all this hardship, the Ukrainian spirit endures. Communities come together, finding strength in unity and hope in small acts of kindness. This suffering is not accidental. It is a deliberate strategy by Russia to break the will of the people, to make daily life unbearable, and force surrender through hardship. But instead of succumbing to hopelessness, Ukrainians have forged resilience and a powerful sense of community. Hardship has brought people closer, inspiring acts of generosity and courage. Neighbors help each other rebuild, volunteers repair damage, and strangers share what little they have. The bonds of solidarity grow stronger with every challenge faced. The Kremlin's plan to break Ukraine's will has failed. Instead, it has only strengthened the resolve of the people to stand together and resist. the darkness has only made the Ukrainian spirit shine brighter. In every home, every shelter, hope flickers like a candle, refusing to be extinguished. Every blackout is met with defiance and creativity. Songs, laughter, and determination fill the void left by the absence of light. The people refuse to be broken. Their courage is visible in every gesture, every smile, every act of resistance. The war has made them stronger, not weaker. Each day of survival is a victory. Each act of kindness a testament to their enduring humanity. Their unity is their light in the darkness. A beacon of hope that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how long the night. Russia believed its territory was untouchable. On January 25th, Ukraine shattered that illusion. While Russian missiles rained down, Ukraine struck back, hard. The target Belgorod, a key Russian military hub. Using long-range drones and missiles, Ukraine hit fuel depots, ammo stores, and bases. The attack was swift, precise, and devastating. For the first time, Russia's war machine felt real vulnerability at home. Ukraine's message was clear: for every attack on its cities, there will be a price. The rules of the conflict have changed. No Russian base is safe. Ukraine is no longer just defending, it's taking the fight to the enemy. The night of January 25th marked a turning point. Ukraine's response was merciless, calculated, and effective. The Kremlin now knows retaliation will be swift and severe. This war is a showcase of modern military technology. Russia deploys hypersonic missiles, cruise missiles, and electronic warfare to overwhelm defenses. Ukraine counters with Western-supplied HIMARS, Patriot, and Iris-T systems, plus its own innovative drones. The January 25th Belgorod strike revealed Ukraine's growing technological edge. Domestically produced long-range drones hit targets with precision. Ukraine's defense industry is adapting and innovating under fire. Each side races to outsmart the other. Missiles, drones, and countermeasures in a deadly chess match. The outcome of this technological duel is as crucial as the courage of soldiers. Ukraine's ability to innovate faster than Russia is key to its survival. The arms race is relentless. Ingenuity may decide the war's outcome. There's a stark difference between Russia's terror tactics and Ukraine's response. Russia targets civilians to break morale. Ukraine targets military assets to degrade Russia's war effort. The Belgorod strike was surgical: fuel depots, ammo stores, and bases, not homes. Ukraine's doctrine, shaped by Western partners, prioritizes precision and minimizes collateral damage. This approach is both ethical and effective. It keeps Ukraine on the moral high ground and maintains international support. The message: Ukraine fights the Russian war machine, not the Russian people. Retaliation is merciless in effect, but disciplined in execution. Ukraine's professionalism sets it apart in this brutal conflict. The Belgorod attack was more than symbolic. It struck at Russia's logistical heart. Belgorod fuels, arms, and supports the invasion of Ukraine. Destroying fuel depots and ammo stores disrupts Russian operations immediately and long-term. Russia must now defend a wider area, stretching its resources thin. Ukraine has forced Russian commanders into a dilemma: protect the front or the rear. The flames in Belgorod signal vulnerability. No part of Russia's war machine is safe. Every strike saps Russian morale and complicates logistics. The war is no longer distant for Russian soldiers and planners. Ukraine is crippling the machine that seeks to destroy it, one precise strike at a time. The balance of power is shifting. Despite darkness and cold, Ukraine's spirit remains unbroken. Each Russian missile only fuels defiance and unity. Utility workers, volunteers, teachers, and ordinary citizens adapt and persevere. Russia's strategy of terror is failing. The will to be free cannot be destroyed. The Kremlin underestimated Ukrainian identity and resolve. This resilience inspires the world and strengthens Ukraine's cause. Ukraine fights not just for survival, but for the principle of sovereignty. The people are not victims. They are the authors of their own destiny. Their courage and unity are rewriting history. The world is watching, and Ukraine is not backing down.